Hey, Ophiuchus seekers. So I found a really great way to describe to you you. I don't know if you've seen Vampire Diaries. A lot of you probably have. There's a character there called Damon Salvatore. Now, without giving any spoilers, if you haven't seen it, in the first season, he's the villain. You should hate him. It's not that difficult to hate villains when you watch them in the movies or in the television shows. You can really, really be scared of a character. You can really dislike a character, or you could be indifferent. Often I find that what makes the difference can be the actor or the actress. Now, with David Salvatore, even though on the surface he's supposed to be the worst, and there's absolutely no reason that on paper, the way he's written, for you to have any affection towards him, he becomes one of the most favorite, likable characters on the show. And in general, you know. How did he do that? Kind of like how you do it. Now, let's not go to an extreme. You're not a vampire who kills people. But, given that it's an analogy, just like with Damon Salvatore, who has the character that's supposed to be uncomfortable and conflicted, but here comes the actor, Ian Somerhalder, and he has, and that's just what I pick up on through the screen, if I may, he has this incredible spirit, this man, this actor. His soul is like takes over the room. And the essence of the actor that is profoundly bright, that has this interesting integration between light and shadow. He can't help but to bring it, to the character that he portrays. And that creates this complex character. Someone that you don't even hate to love. You just love to love, even if you're supposed to hate him, right? And you don't care. And with you, how does it play out? So, Ophiuchus, you have the avatar, right? The personality, the characteristics of what Ophiuchus is, of the integration of Scorpio and Sagittarius. Deep fixed water with mutable fire. And alchemy is the integration of opposing elements, right? So we have here water and fire trying to operate simultaneously within you. Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer, the sign of wisdom. And Ophiuchus people, and by the way, I Googled Ian Somerhalder's birthday, December 8th, which is officially an Ophiuchus, right? Characteristic wise, stereotype wise, Ophiuchus, you tend to, and I'm generalizing here, you tend to be kind of all over the place, have very contradictory characteristics that most people just can't seem to fathom or understand or come to peace with. It makes them feel uncomfortable. It tickles their demons. It triggers them. It catalysts them. And I am not trying to embellish this. You can be at times the expression of you, the shadow expression of you, which is most Ophiuchus, because Ophiuchus has a very challenging spiritual and energetic path here in this realm of, well, life. Can be impatient, can be reckless, can be seemingly arrogant because you think really, really fast and you know a lot of things and you understand the world from a very intuitive, emotional place, but also from a very curious, open-minded, all over the place, right? You have the depth of the wisdom of Scorpio, but you're loyal to the knowledge and to the spirit, and you don't necessarily stay stuck. It's this interesting combination of Sag and Scorp, right? And most people, surface level, can tend to dislike that. And yet, what makes you still so magical? Your soul. The soul of an Ophiuchus is incredible because you come here, you chose a life path of being the serpent bearer, the bearer of wisdom and knowledge that comes only from integration of polarities. It is a very challenging path of integration. And that creates conflict in life and challenges and contradiction, a complex personality. And it takes time for you to reach that light expression of Ophiuchus, the balanced, integrated of the polarities within you that are very extreme and intense, each in its own, right? But when you get there, Ophiuchus, right, when you get to a level where, like the actor that in this analogy is your soul, bringing himself, his essence to the avatar, the character, Damon Salvatore, on the show. And your soul, I'm sorry, is bringing itself into the avatar of the personality of Ophiuchus, of the person. So it takes time for people, for you to rub off on people. But once they love you, once they see the truth of you, the magic of you, once you get there, there is no unloving you. It's not even possible. And that requires some difficulty on your behalf because it means that most people can't see you. Most people don't have the capacity, the complexity, the wisdom to understand you. They get very confused and annoyed and upset, which means that the only people you can afford around you are magical, wise people who see your aura, who see your spirit, who see your potential for alchemy and healing. And so when you get to become that, they get to have you forever because those are the people that earn your loyalty. Now, it's not to say that they have to stick around you if you're a piece of shit constantly. I teach my seekers to have healthy boundaries and seek happiness. So if you're only in your shadow expression and you're an absolute mess, then if they're not sticking around, it's not because they're not magical and not see you. It's because you haven't done the work to get there. And yes, it's true. It's harder for you. You should get to it. If you don't have a fan base, and I don't mean like celebrity like, I mean in your life, if there aren't people who are willing to go very far for you out of loyalty and out of faith in you, you still have a way to go. The good news is, like in all the magical stories with magical characters, the path is longer and more challenging, but it's because you have a bigger purpose and it takes longer and more. So that's kind of cool. And I hope it gives you comfort and understanding. Now let's get into the card, Ophi. This is a reading for October. I just wanted to give that in case you weren't sure. What does it mean to be Ophi? Because that's the best way that I could come up with. Honestly, if you haven't watched the show, watch it and see the progression of Damon Salvatore's character and how Ian Somerhalder, like, I think most people can't understand why he manages to do that, but I can see why. It's just his spirit. So 8 of Wands right off the bat. Good. mutable fire. So this shows us that you're in your mutable fire energy right now, the Sag energy. A fast-paced communication, understanding. Mercury just went direct. On the 8th, Pluto goes direct. On the 24th, Saturn goes direct, or on the 23rd. Fast movement, and it will sprint you forward. It's time for you to recognize how strong your energy is and the fact that it means you have responsibility with it. Things are going to pick up quite positively. And that means you gotta keep yourself in check. Your energy in check. The Empress. Energy of creativity, of generosity, of giving, of self-worth. Don't fall to the trap of the scorpionic darkness that exists in you. It's very valuable. You've attained so much wisdom from those places. But right now, it's time to focus on Taurus energy, the opposite of Scorpio, okay? Where the North Node is. Life, creation, nature, planet Earth. Taurus is ruled by Earth. I actually have my own theory, and that is that Ophiuchus is actually ruled by Venus. Taurus is Earth, Libra is Athena, and Ophiuchus is Venus. I mean, think about it. Fire and water, passion and desire, truth and will. Venus, goddess of war and of love. That's your mess. War and love? Warrior and lover? I mean, they write about it in stories and poems, right? But do people like that actually exist? And is it nice looking? Yeah, it's you. Anyway, that's my theory. I never read it anywhere. That's what I think. So if you hear someone says it, call them out. Be like, hey, I heard more kings. 10 of Pentacles. Look at you. Time to happy. Family. Empress and the 10 of Pentacles. Children. Happy home. Both essence, but also actual land. Some of you might be considering on purchasing land or are purchasing land. Some of you are building something. If it's not your own personal family life, then this could be something to do with the community, something you want to do for the world, for your neighbors, for your people. I'm picking up something of legacy that you want to leave behind, that you believe in. And then we have 5 of Pentacles and 4 of Swords. So we go from the utmost happiness and fulfillment and abundance to a breakdown, a loss. 10 of Pentacles to 5 of Pentacles is cut in half. And from carrying life, you become the little fetus in the womb that needs to be nourished. What happens? What is it that you figure out that makes you realize something was missing? Because if for 1 second I have the Empress and the 10 of Pentacles, and then the next 5 of Pentacles and 4 of Swords, this wasn't real. Maybe it was the perception, the hope, potential. But then you realize that you don't know everything. That there's something about this that you've missed. There was this great potential, and now it's partial, and you're tired. You thought that in your sleep you were building an entire kingdom, but it turns out that in your sleep you're healing because you were injured. The pain has not gone away. You're so strong, so you built around it. But you haven't fully went within. Maybe you've been with a vision of what you thought was your ideal thing, person, place. But as you wake up to yourself, as all the planets go direct, and maybe you hear these words, and something begins to echo, you realize that the vision and the heart aren't always one. Sometimes vision is based on our injured, wounded inner child that has built the story in order to avoid the pain. And then you hold on to that story, and then you grow up and you think it's you, or that it's your heart, but it's actually a desire that comes from lack, or from pain, or from trauma, or from loss. And whenever your heart tries to whisper at you or tell you something, you're like, no, 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 this is exactly what we've always wanted. This is the vision. This is the dream. This is what I've always, always wanted. This is what I planned, what I wanted, what I spoke into existence. And then it happens. And you feel like you find yourself in virtual reality. Everything is perfect. But it's not real. And from heaven, it turns into this weird hell. It's almost too good to be true, too perfect. Not because you don't want something to be wonderful, but because you realize you haven't stopped for a second, chariot, to check in with your heart. Is it still what you want? I'm picking up intuitively that you wanted something a very long time ago. And now you seem to have it. But you've changed throughout the time. Or you've grown closer to yourself and your heart started to wake up. And then it looked around and was like, what? Where am I? What is this? Is this really me? And then there's stagnation and a sense of self-betrayal. What have I done? And then you wake up. And then you wake up to everything that is true in you from your gut. And you wake up to your actual vision, your actual dream. And you start moving towards it. And this time when you attain it, you'll feel happy. It won't just be telling yourself that you're happy because of the white picket fence and the golden retriever and the beautiful partner and the beautiful, wonderful everything. Some of you are going to realize you built yourself a golden cage full of wonderful people and wonderful things that are just perfect for someone else. And some of you with this chariot are going to go off on a journey. Quite a powerful one. To fulfill your true dream. And maybe you won't know exactly what that dream is, and maybe you will. Either way, you'll be on the go. You'll be unstoppable. Four of Pentacles. And the person who loves you, or the people who love you, or the perfect life that you've created are going to resist and be hurt. Rightly so. No judgment. They don't want to hear it. They don't understand. What happened? Suddenly you woke up in the morning and you're like, "Ah, where am I?" And they're going to look at you and be like, "What do you mean? You're here with me. Like we've always wanted." And you're like, "What happened? How did I get here?" And you look around and everything is beautiful. And they are beautiful. And your life is beautiful. And you're terrified. Because this is not a bad person, or not a bad place, or not a bad anything. They're going to turn away from you. They're going to be upset. And you won't know what to say. You won't know how to explain this. Knight of Cups. You don't have to use words. Just follow your heart. For the first time in a very long time, even though you've been telling yourself that you're the kind of person that follows their heart, right? OPHIUCHUS. That's what you've been telling yourself. Well, I always follow my heart. It's just who I am. And how did you get here? There. Maybe you can write it in a letter. The Hermit. And then go find yourself. You are inside of you. See all this light? You are right here, sweetheart. You're right there. Just kind of you've allowed fantasy worlds to suppress your true fantasy because you didn't know yourself. There was too much to get to know, constantly changing. So you picked up the written fantasies from here, from there. And you are like, yeah, that's my fantasy. And that's what my heart wants. Come back to this reading 2-3 weeks from now. You will understand it on a whole other level. Save it. You will understand it on a whole other level. Show me more, please, for OPHIUCHUS for October. OPHIUCHUS people waking up. Ooh. Scorpio season is not going to let you slide. And you don't even know that you've been lying to yourself. Maybe you're even upset with me right now. You're like, what is she talking about? I know me. I know what my dreams are. I know what my heart wants. Okay, boo. So it's not your reading. All good. So come back anyway. Or at least take a moment to shut your brain down and listen to how you feel. Take deep breaths in and out. Figure out how you feel, not how you're supposed to feel. King of Pentacles. This is the guy here in Ten of Pentacles. I'm picking up on telling you to look at your pet. Maybe you have a dog, maybe you have a cat, or your child, if you have a child. Look at a creature that is very naive, very, very heart-centered and heart-based. Can you hear my neighbor yelling in the hallway? See, fake fantasy me would be like, I love everyone, I don't care. But the truth of my heart is that annoys the fuck out of me. You've been told so many times that you've got to learn how to behave. So maybe you've developed some spiritual bypassing, some mechanism of toxic positivity. I know you call it positivity, but maybe it's a little bit toxic. You, of all people, Ophiuchus, has got to know how you feel. Truly, in every given moment. Alchemy of two matters require the matters, different matters, to be fully themselves. Okay? You can't attempt to mix water and oil without water or with something that isn't really oil, because then the experiment is futile. You can't get to know yourself by changing aspects of yourself that you're trying to connect together just so it will fit better or easier. The King of Pentacles really knows himself. He's been around the block. You know, he's the master of the earth element, the most difficult element to master, by the way, because it takes an incredible amount of patience. It's the slowest, it's the most condensed. How fun it is to master fire. Just go by your desire and for things to happen fast, right? But to master earth, Gaia. To master earth, you gotta first master the other elements. And it's sitting here almost like teasing after the hermit. And the hermit, that's a pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage of self-discovery, layer after layer, peel after peel, lifetime after lifetime. You think you gotten somewhere, and then, oh, there's another part to the process. And then the King of Pentacles comes out. The last card. It's almost like saying, don't you pretend. You've been avoiding the journey. You've been telling yourself that you have everything, that you're happy, while you were still feeling like an abandoned child who's scared. Fixing my eyelashes. I want to show you the cards, and then I'm going to rearrange. Okay. Can you see? Okay. Let's do this. All right. So I'm going to take the major arcanas, and let's see if we have any repetitions. 2 fours. 4 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles. 2 court cards, Knight of Cups and King of Pentacles. And 5 8, 10. I'm going to put these here. Okay. Now let's look at this is the existential shift spread. Let's look at the extra layers. Empress, Chariot, the Hermit. There's this beautiful cycle of completion that you think is the promised land, that you think is your one ultimate thing, whatever. And then a new journey, almost like you're a beginner, which is crazy. I don't think you expect this. And these two fours kind of show me that there's going to be resistance, stubbornness, holding on to the existing foundation. And you're going to hold on to the persona that has it all together, that does the right thing. You've built it. You've earned it. It covered up the mess. Sorry, there seems to be a party outside in the hallway. We're going to let it pass and then I'm going to keep talking. No, I don't think it's cute. I think it's annoying AF. You want me to teach you how to be honest with yourself by bullshitting you? Psh, way to go, Morgane. Very inspiring. Now, truth is the entire range of emotion, and it's the ability to not seem perfect. See what happened as soon as I owned it? They went quiet. Now, maybe you didn't even hear it, but I heard it, and I own up to it, that it's annoying. That's what I want you to do. You've been bashed as impatient, as intolerable at one point in your life, for sure. As rash, as reckless, maybe even selfish, maybe even arrogant. I don't know, depends. And you are so smart, so you really learned how to behave in society. But where are you? And does this perfect person know you? Are they with you or are they with your personality that you've created? Do they know who you are? And do they love you for it? Because if you're a vampire that pretends to be a human and someone falls madly in love with you, well, they fall madly in love with the human or with the personality. But if they know who you are, the dark and the light, the strength and the fear, and they're still madly in love with you, well. Now, if you say this to them, then the first thing that they'll do is say, of course I love you as you are. What are you talking about? Test it. Be yourself for a while and see their facial expressions every now and then, their responses, how deep of a breath they have to take to hold their reaction to what you just said or what you just did. Because when someone fits, and it doesn't have to be someone, by the way, I'm picking up that it's romance, that it's someone, but it can also be a career path, a place that you live, a group of friends, really anything, okay? But if someone is fitting to one aspect of you and they don't know the other aspect of you because you made this aspect of you that fits them the whole of you and suppress the rest, a half can't comprehend a whole. WH, whole. Okay, when you put an abstract painting that is very colorful, that has the color blue in it, next to a blue painting, so the blue within the abstract painting will pop out and will fit the painting that is mostly blue. But it doesn't change the fact that the abstract painting is colorful and it has other aspects to it. And if that blue painting can't comprehend the red in you, or doesn't even know it exists because it can't fathom it, doesn't have the capacity to fathom the color red, it doesn't know you. And there's just so long that this painting, this abstract, colorful painting, can survive on that wall next to that blue painting. At one point, the other colors will start raging. They gotta exist. And the painting will start moving and we'll feel a little bit alone because who in the world can fit a painting of so many colors? You've always tried to fit into people who are lesser, who are of lesser frequency than you. Because otherwise you feel alone because most people can't contain you. They're not as big. They don't have the complexity that you have. They don't have the it's either water or fire. If they try to mix them both, they burn or they fume, you know. They can't comprehend water and fire existing simultaneously. And not only that it's not destructive, it's actually creative and life-giving. How do you do that, Ophi? And you can't explain it because you haven't even allowed yourself to get to know that part of you. Instead of searching and searching and searching for the person that, for that abstract painting that pops out most of your colors, if not all of them, you've stayed on walls next to one color painting or two color painting because you didn't want to be alone. Well, the universe has had enough. Spirit has had enough. It needs you to be you. So I see a shakeup. And you're going to be alone for just a little bit to understand. And once you fully own up yourself, once you take in all of your aspects, all of your colors, then the path to match, the ability to match someone like that will be optional because you'll echo all your essence. And then the universal magnet, will start operating and draw someone who is also all these frequencies and colors and complexities. October is going to be a doozy, but one that is worth the while. If you want to deepen your esoteric studies with me, Tarot Masterclass Bunkai is for unlimited streaming. All 90 classes, I'm uploading them here on Patreon. That's on top of tons of other VIP content. Check out the description box for all the way you can support the Existential Shift, express gratitude, connect, deepen the relationship, find more content and fun stuff. You got this. Stay magic. Stay true. I'll see you soon.